It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, and here we go on a Thursday morning. Thursday. That's right, Thursday is practically Friday, so one more day, and there we are. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful morning it was. Wow, really, really nice. You know, yesterday I was on the net, and I don't remember what story I was reading, but there was a photograph that went with it, and it was a photograph of Manhattan taken from, I would say, maybe a mile south of Fort Lee in New Jersey. And you see the Freedom Tower. The Freedom Tower, of course, is where the Twin Towers stood up until 2001. And it was just a shot of the skyline of Manhattan. Now, that was like late yesterday morning. And then yesterday afternoon, I'm reading the Spectator, and there was an insert, a really nicely done insert, of the graduating class of 2019 of all kinds of area schools, from Hornell and Arkport and Canisteo and Alfred Allen and all that. And for some reason, this morning I'm sitting outside early in the morning, and I took those two stories and I dovetailed them. The mind is a strange thing, okay? I don't know how I took these two stories and put them together. But I'm thinking, you have to think of this. But the graduating class of 2019, the students were born in, let's say, 2001. Like our granddaughter, actually it's my wife's granddaughter, but I tell you what, I think of her as my granddaughter too, and I couldn't be more proud. And she was born 1 month before September 11, 2001. And when you think of it, most of the class of 2019 was born right before or right after the attack of 9/11 in 2001. So I'm not quite sure what the point here is. But this class is unique in that they have no empirical knowledge of what happened on 9/11/2001. Because in the first place, a lot of them weren't even born by September 11th, 2001. Now, it's kind of interesting is that their worldview, and the German language has a great word for it, it's Weltanschauung. And their worldview is entirely different. They have no idea what it was like to be around September 11th, 2001, or the 1990s, or the 1980s. They have absolutely no idea because they weren't even born. So their worldview is something that, as adults, people in their, let's say, 40s or late 30s or 50s or 60s, we cannot even imagine what their worldview is. And here they are, they're graduating high school. So as far as they go, they've learned about September 11, 2001, and before that, only through reading, or maybe seeing a documentary on TV, or being taught in school. They just don't know. They really do not empirically know what happened. And here they are, and a lot of graduations are this week. I think Canisteo graduated. Their graduation was last weekend. I think I could be wrong at that, but I think it was last weekend. And all the rest of the schools are going to be this weekend. Friday, that's when my granddaughter graduates, or Saturday, and they don't even know what it was like. And for us, who have been around for quite some time, it's impossible to imagine how they viewed the world. And it's got to be a very confusing place for them. And as adults who have been around, as I said, for quite some time, it's hard to figure out how to navigate through all this stuff. As an adult, with a lot of life experience, And if you're 17, 18, maybe 19 years old, it's got to be even harder. Because the world has changed so much. That attack changed everything. It changed the entire world, not just the United States, but it changed the entire world. One thing led to another, to another, to another, to another, and here we are in 2019. And if you thought it was strange before, man, it is really strange now. And these young people have got to deal with all that. And so I think, what's the point here? I don't know. What is the point? Where am I going? Sometimes I'll knock myself right off track. But I'm thinking, sometimes we judge them by our standards, but we really can't, because their world is nothing like ours was. Not a thing. There's nothing that's the same. People are people, but dynamics have changed, and things have happened where it's different. I mean, it really is different out there. So I think that the point here is that we cannot judge them too harshly. And we cannot really judge them by our standards much anymore. As far as morals go, oh yeah. But as far as their worldview, we can't, because it's entirely different. And so, if sometimes they express fear or uncertainty in some aspects that we say, what? How could that possibly frighten you? I mean, how could this be so complicated? Well, as far as they go, if I'm 17 or 18 or 19 years old, yeah, it's pretty complicated, So we can't judge them too harshly. And I think the best you could say for the young people who are going to be graduating this weekend, good luck. Man, good luck. If you think it's tough and hard to figure out, as an adult, go, yeah, I agree. It really is. And it changes every day. It changes by the hour. So I'm glad I was raised when I was. I'm glad I'm born, I was born when I was, because it seemed a whole much easier, a lot more simple than it does now. Man, it's got to be hard being 17 or 18 years old and you're ready to graduate and enter a world where it's so complex and so mixed up and so confusing that good luck, man, just good luck. Okay, let me see here. This isn't confusing. This is pretty straightforward. And it's, where are we here? That's right. There was an article in yesterday's Spectator on page 3. And this is a nice, upbeat, wonderful story. Union Park South awarded by city. And the story is by Jason Jordan. And it's about a couple who live on Cedar Street, Joseph and Susan Sislak, I guess, Sislak. And they live on...
C-Slack, I'm sorry.
Who?
C-Slack.
C-Slack. Okay, C-Slack, Joseph and Susan C-Slack. Thank you very much. Okay, where was I? Boy, that threw me. C-Slack. Okay. Anyway, so they live on Cedar Street, and they have a wonderful-looking garden. There are 2 photographs here. And they have a wonderful-looking garden and a great really nice landscaping. And yesterday, Hornell Mayor John Buckley presented them with the City of Hornell's Citizen Recognition Program Award for their inspiring curb appeal. And judging by the photograph, it's a really nice-looking yard, very nice. And anyway, they were totally surprised by this. And Mayor Buckley said, this is a quote from the story by Jason Jordan, "This is for everything you do in beautifying the neighborhood and the property. The City of Hornell thanks you." Buckley said, "Our hope is that it's contagious, that people see what you do and will want to emulate what you do and beautify their own property." All right. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, if more people did that, if more people did that, it'd be a really nice thing. And Mrs. Cieslak says, "We call it Union Park South." Now, I remember the first time I moved. The first time I moved here. I've moved here a couple of times. I remember Union Park, and Union Park was demolished in when Route 36 came through, and it was a big, beautiful park downtown. And hey, everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Right? The only constant is change, right? So Union Park is no more. So apparently they call their yard Union Park South, and that is pretty cool. Okay, on to other things. You've heard, of course, that the AOC, an ordinary charity head, a congressperson, that's right, said that the The detention camps on the southern border are like, what did she call them? That's right, concentration camps. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said that the camps set up for illegals on the southern border are like concentration camps. And Governor Andrew Cuomo, I actually agree with Andrew Cuomo. Make a note of this. This is what, the 27th, I think, or something, the 28th. Andrew Cuomo blasts AOC for concentration camp remark. He says there is no comparison to the Holocaust. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo blasted New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for her comparison of migrant detention centers to concentration camps, saying there is no comparison to the Holocaust. Ocasio-Cortez has been criticized for her comments during the Instagram Live video in which she said the U.S. is running concentration camps on our southern border, and that is exactly what they are. They are concentration camps. And she defended her stupid comments. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I interjected stupid. Quote, she has defended her comments and said she was not calling detention centers death camps. That's what concentration camps were for the most part, right? Cuomo told reporters Wednesday there is no comparison to the Holocaust and said the treatment of migrants is repugnant. Okay, fine. There is no comparison to the Holocaust, period, Cuomo said. To draw any equivalencies suggests one does not understand what happened in the Holocaust. And he's right. So old AOC called them concentration camps, and Governor Cuomo, said absolutely not. And yes, I do agree with them. And as I said, make a note of that. Now, what else can we do here? My time management is kind of needs a little fine tuning here. Okay, over half of Americans prefer what for breakfast? What do they prefer for breakfast? And the answer is something I have known for my entire life, and here is proof. Cold pizza. What is better than cold pizza for breakfast? I don't know. But this was in a website called Food and Wine. And it says there's a reason most pizzerias offer a half-and-half option for toppings. Though pretty much everyone agrees that pizza is awesome, people can never seem to agree on the perfect pie. With this in mind, the pizza-specific ordering platform Slice polled its users on their pizza preferences in the hopes of better understanding the diversity within America's pizza obsession. And the results cover a range of topics, but in the end, they are all revealing. Okay, what don't we like on our pizza? Let me see. Over half of the response, there were 9,000 people polled here. 9,000 responses. 54% of those polled said pineapple shouldn't even be considered a topping at all. And I agree with that. Meanwhile, with anchovies, the salty fish has an East Coast bias. 6 of the top 10 anchovy ordering states on the right coast, here on the East Coast, with Delaware apparently leading the charge. 63% of Delawareans said they were pro-fish. Kansas, on the other hand, hates anchovies, with only 1% of respondents in the state saying they'd opt for the salty option. I personally love anchovies. If I had a pizza with only anchovies and maybe some pepper. Now, I have to tell you, I haven't had breakfast yet. Okay, so this is very, very, very difficult doing this. Anyway, let me see. Where was I? 56% of respondents preferred their pepperoni to be curly. Curly pepperoni. Notable not because pepperoni is a controversial topping, but because 44% of people apparently don't know good pepperoni. I do, and I love pepperoni. Anyway, so let me see. One pizza preference. Okay, but if there was one pizza preference that plenty of people seem to sink on, it's that people are willing to eat pizza any time of day. A majority of those polled, 53%, say they preferred a cold slice of pizza at breakfast to their usual options like eggs and orange juice. Granted, 53% isn't a huge majority, but think of it this way. If you owned a diner, it says here, and 53% of people said they'd rather eat leftover pizza than eat at your breakfast place, you'd probably rethink the quality of your food. So, most people would rather have cold pizza at breakfast. And I am definitely one of those. I have had more pizza for more breakfasts in my life. Cold pizza. Or maybe zap it in the microwave for like 10 seconds just to warm it up just a tad. Now you're talking. Okay, talking. Now we're talking insurance. Ryan agencies. The Ryan agencies in Hornell, right? Local people helping you with all your insurance needs. It's like having your own personal consultant on insurance, and what could be better than that? Almost as good as pizza at breakfast. Insurance is tough to navigate on your own, if at all. But the friendly, knowledgeable people at the Ryan agencies are there to help you, and they're endorsed by Dave Ramsey. No better endorsement than that anywhere. The Ryan agencies in Hornell.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
News from the NBA, where a day after a report came out that the Rockets were trying to acquire all-star Jimmy Butler from the 76ers in a sign-and-trade deal. Wednesday, a report came out that says the Rockets are continuing to try to get into a position to make that deal by shopping center Clint Capella, guard Eric Gordon, and forward P.J. Tucker. Baseball, checking division leaders in action. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays 8-7. New York hit 2 more home runs to extend their record to 29 consecutive games with at least 1 home run. Battle of division leaders saw the Braves beat the Cubs in Chicago 5-3. Brewers fall to the Mariners 4-2, so Chicago still has that 1-game lead on Milwaukee for top spot in the NL Central. The Dodgers lose to the Diamondbacks 8-2. It was the Twins over the Rays 6-4. Astros fall to the Pirates 14-2. College World Series Game 3 National Championship Series winner take all. Vanderbilt beats Michigan 8-2. Starting pitcher Mason Hickman improved to 9-0 in the season. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 run, 10 strikeouts. Vandy wins its 2nd national title.
New to golf or seasoned veteran, you'll enjoy the casual, relaxed atmosphere of Vanderview Golf Course. 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road, Vanderview is a 9-hole executive-length golf course with a driving range on one side of the road and the course on the other. Family-friendly and fun recreation for everyone. Greens fees are one price for unlimited play, $9.50. High school students, only $5. Children 12 and under with an adult, no charge. You can play up to 18 holes or 9 holes with a cart and get the second 9 holes at no additional charge. Ladies and senior golfers who don't hit the long ball, Vanderview's got the executive length that's just right for your game. And new this year, a season pass for only $100. That's a lot of golfing fun for a very little bit of money. Vanderview Golf Course, 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road. Vanderview Golf Course.
From the Fox Business Network, there's a new problem with Boeing's 737 MAX plane, separate from its MCAS flight control system. The FAA says it identified the problem last week during simulator tests. Boeing says it agreed with the FAA's decision and is working on a software fix. The additional problem will delay the recertification of the planes. An FAA spokesman tells the Wall Street Journal it has no timeline to return the planes to service. Pier 1 Imports is planning to close 57 stores, 12 more than its original plan. USA Today says the company is in negotiations with landlords. A credit rating agency says Pier 1 could be heading toward a potential bankruptcy reorganization. Pier 1 has more than 965 stores in the U.S. and Canada. The Dow was down 11 yesterday, NASDAQ up 25, S&P down 3. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news! The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Chris. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Chris. That's 4hims.com/Chris.
Today at Simmons, Rockwell Ford. Drive away in a new Ford F-150 lease for only $339 a month. A new 2019 F-150 STX Crew Cab 4x4 equipped with a 2.7 V6 EcoBoost engine, running boards, 20-inch alloy wheels. Lease with no money down and Ford Trade Assist for $339 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Okay, and we are back. Okay, now where do I get this from? The Hill. New York City officials declare climate emergency. Okay. There's a climate emergency in New York City, and everybody's very upset and their hair is on fire and all that. It says here the New York City Council on Wednesday yesterday voted to declare a climate emergency becoming the largest city in the country to commit to combat climate change. Okay, the legislation passed Wednesday includes a laundry list of impacts from climate change, concluding by calling for, quote, an immediate emergency mobilization to restore a safe climate. In New York City, good grief. The resolution itself is largely symbolic, codifying an acknowledgement of the local cost of climate change and a commitment to tackle the crisis. Good grief. More than 650 municipalities in 15 countries have declared climate emergencies, including 17 in the U.S., such as San Francisco and Hoboken, New Jersey, according to the Climate Mobilization and Environmental Advocacy Group. Sydney, now who's Sydney? The city of Sydney, in Australia. Sydney declared a climate emergency earlier this week, joining London as major international cities adopting the wording. New York City's declaration comes days after the state legislature passed a sweeping climate bill aimed at zero net emissions by 2050, a figure recommended by, guess who? That's right, the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. City Council passed an emissions reduction bill targeted at large buildings earlier this year. And large building owners, right down there in New York, are pretty upset about that because it's going to cost them $1 gazillion to retrofit all those buildings. That should be very interesting. Okay, what else have we here? One quickie. Florida City pays $600,000 to hackers who seized its computer system. You've heard of ransomware? Well, the city of Riviera Beach has voted unanimously this week to pay the hackers' demands, believing the Palm Beach suburb had no choice if it wanted to retrieve its records, which the hackers encrypted. The council already voted to spend almost $1 million on new computers and hardware after hackers captured the city system 3 weeks ago. So they are actually going to pay $600,000 ransom to hackers. As I said, it's a strange world out there, and good luck, class of 2019. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.